And now I would like to give the floor to MEP Lucia Durish-Nicholson, who is the chair of the Committee on Employment and Social Affairs, to bring in also the perspective of herself, I'm sure, but also the European Parliament. Madam Nicholson, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor, and let me start with a story. The story is about Kate. Kate is an 8-year-old child with middle heart autistic spectrum disorder. Kate's mother is a hairdresser from a small Slovak village, and she is a single mother. When Kate was 2.5 years old, she was diagnosed by a pediatrician with autism. So what do I do now? Her mother asked. Well, now you have to find a therapist, the doctor said. Where? Well, that I cannot tell you. There are none available in our district. As Kate's mother was looking for help among doctors, one of them even advised her, you know, in this country, it is better to place autistic children in orphanage. Kate's mother was shocked. She did not understand how this could come from a doctor. The closest therapist was 90 kilometers away from Kate in Košice. There was no preschool facility in their district that would accept autistic Kate. Her mother found a retired neighbor to take care of Kate while she was working. The family was very low on money, as her mother's income hardly covered the rent and the babysitting. When the therapist finally called, Anna had to refuse the therapist because she did not have money to pay for it. At the age of 7, Kate started a special school. Her mother had to drive her 40 kilometers every single day. Kate does not thrive. She struggles at school and she struggles at home. The pediatrician as well as the teachers at school say this is because she did not get the therapy at the very early stage. Now, I am very, very happy that the Commission has adopted a strategy for the rights of persons with disabilities 2021-2030, but early childhood intervention is not yet available in many countries, my country included, and I am afraid the strategy will not be enough if things continue the way they are. Despite the fact that the government of the Slovak Republic has committed to assisting those with disabilities in the government program statement for the years 2020 and 2024, the situation for children with disabilities and socially deprived children is completely unacceptable. The children do not get the assistance they need. Their families are left alone with no or very little help from the state. What is stopping us from providing the early childhood intervention to the children who need it? What is actually stopping us from helping children with disabilities, to children with autism, to children who live in poverty? Why is the situation of the Roma communities at the very back of our interest? Firstly, the money is not spent in the right way. Kate's case is the common reality today, despite the data showing us that timely help is a benefit for the whole of society, economically as well as in the quality of their lives. Studies prove that giving early help to children with disabilities and to children who are socially deprived positively affects the quality of their daily lives in the future. Secondly, the children are not being helped because conventions and recommendations are being ignored. At the EU level and the international level, we have adopted numerous documents: Convention on the Rights of the Child, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and also the European 2020 strategy, Child Guarantee, which explicitly recommends member states to address early childhood education and care. So the recommendations are on the table, but countries are ignoring them. And the third reason why the children are not being helped is that we suffer from a lack of experts. They are too expensive and they are very far away from those who live in the countryside, for instance. At least this is the situation in Slovakia. This means we are not able to provide all families with the therapies, and the occasional therapies that we do provide are only available for rich families. Just to give you an idea, here are some figures. The cost for families that go out of their way to provide the very basic therapies is 2,450 euros per year. For children with autism, the cost is up to 30,000 euros per year. A 20-day therapy for 4 hours a day costs 2,800 euros. Parents thus contribute about 51 million euros per year from their own resources to private companies for the therapies. At the moment, poor families have to set up civil associations for their children to receive 2% of tax contributions and donations in order to pay for the therapies for their children. Without the state help, the families are forced to beg for money. So yes, I'm very, very happy that the Commission has adopted the strategy for the rights of persons with disabilities 2021 and 2030. It has ambitious objectives with early intervention as one of the important ones. But at the moment, these objectives are just words. So what do we do if we really want to help? How can we help the children with disabilities, the children living in poverty, and the children from Roma communities? First, most important thing, we have to stop saying there is not enough money in our system. Maybe the reason there is not enough money in the systems is the lack of early intervention services. Look at the studies. Today's investment is tomorrow's savings. Second, we need to make it less complicated for the governments to implement conventions and recommendations. You know, there are excellent examples among EU member states, Denmark, Netherlands, Greece, even UK. They support and educate the parents, they assess the children, create individual education programs, they integrate the children into the mainstream. And these are programs that can become templates, easy to communicate and very easy to emulate. Third, we need many more experts, and we need them out in the countryside, in the places where they can make biggest difference. I believe with the enormous funding from the EU, we can make a difference in lives of children with disabilities and in lives of socially deprived children. Thank you very much.